Yo, what up, niggas? It's your boy Philko here with that fucked up hairline. I was supposed to have shaved my head yesterday, but I just woke up and I was thinking about something that happened last night in the club, and it made me come to kind of two realizations, man. Two different realizations. We were in the club last night, and they're playing all this new hip hop. Some of it's cool, but I just don't relate to it. I don't feel it. I was thinking even before I went to the club about hip hop music and how I just don't feel the things I don't feel the same way about these rappers as I felt about rappers back in my day. I guess you'd say like Biggie, Pac. I think the last one that came out with that I could truly relate to and have like that special feeling for is 50 Cent. After him, that's it. Maybe I'm missing somebody, maybe Cassidy, maybe Papoose or something, but other than that, it really just stopped at 50 Cent. It really stopped at 50 Cent, you know what I mean? And all the new guys seem like just actors pretending to be, gangsters, thugs, but their music's good too. It's just not for me. I'm not trying to say their music is garbage, but it's different. And I've always realized that 50 Cent was kind of like the last one. And when I saw Lord Jamar, I think his name is Lord Jamar, he's a rapper. When he made that interview called 50 Cent is the last bully in the industry, I knew I wasn't crazy. Because that's something I was noticing too. But now 50 Cent's like a granddad and all that shit. But anyway, we're in a club, I'm dancing with crazy ass, blonde, tall, this girl twerking, grabbing all the fucking attention. But we had fun this time. I didn't have to dance with a fat chick, we had fun. And then out of nowhere, Shook Ones come on. And I just felt a feeling in me that, I haven't felt in a long time. And I was like, excited. I was happy to be there. Now, when I hear a song that I really, really like, I don't care about dancing to it. I gotta rap to it. I don't know. Maybe it's an old school thing, but I just gotta rap to it because I know all the words. So I just start rapping, whatever. But what intrigued me so much was that everybody else kind of just either stopped dancing or started to sit down because they didn't know it. So the first realization I came to is I'm fucking old. I'm 28. To the hip hop community, that's not young. Maybe it's middle age, but to these new rappers who are teenagers and lower 20s, I'm old. You feel me? So I came to that realization yesterday, and I'm pretty damn old, right? There's another thing I came to the realization of. I remember I made a video saying how that I realized I hate myself. But it was a joke. I didn't really hate myself. And I was telling everybody why I love being me. And I remember I was like, because of where I'm from, people like it and I love it. But now let me go even deeper on that, because a lot of people, they only know me from this channel. They don't know the other channel, and they don't fully understand. So I guess after this I have a little more of an understanding. But when I first started making YouTube videos, I had a Jewish Russian friend who was going big off of YouTube. And at this time, I was married, I didn't have much money, I was living in Queensbridge, where Mobb Deep's from. I was living in Queensbridge. I was from the exact building of MC Shan back in the day. Same exact building as him. And my apartment was fucked up. It was crap, and the neighborhood, people respected me there only because I had a lot of white girlfriends, but it was bad. I remember whenever I brought a Russian girl over, they would see the candles on the floor, and they were like, what is this? What are these candles on the floor? I was like, somebody's birthday, it's something they do on their birthday. And the day before they leave, I tell them the truth. I'd like, yeah, someone was shot and killed there, And, another thing to throw in before I continue on the story. Somebody told me, in one of my videos, I was talking about how no one's going to take blacks seriously, or people killing blacks seriously, until blacks stop killing each other all the time. Because they were complaining about the cop who killed the black teenager. They were protesting all this stuff. I'm like, no one's really going to take black people seriously until black people take black people seriously. He said, well, for the past 20 years, the country has dropped in crime so much, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, that's true. But blacks are still leading in murders, especially on ourselves. But what's interesting about that, he said the last 20 years, which is true. The last 17 or so years, it hasn't been that bad. But I grew up when it was that bad. I was coming up when it was that bad. You know, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, Flatbush area, Bed-Stuy, Brownsville, and my grandmother, before I lived there, lived in Queensbridge Projects, and I would go visit her, I don't know, once a month when I was a kid, and I remember Queensbridge was much worse than everything else. No, it wasn't worse than Brownsville. Brownsville and Queensbridge were just hell on earth. Like, dudes would literally shoot the lights out. You know, that's when I came up. That's the time I was coming up, you know, in New York City. And a lot of people say, oh, you go to all these scary places. Like, to me, if there's no guns, it's not scary. That's just how I am. If there's no guns, it's not scary. I could outrun somebody if I have to. You know, most people don't hit as hard as they think. You know, I'm not worried about you. You know, odds are if you don't have a gun, I'm not worried about you. Not even a little bit. You know what I mean? Because a gun is something you can't outrun. You know what I mean? So, I just wanted to put that out there. I came up through that time, you know what I mean? So back to Queensbridge. Now when I was there, Queensbridge was definitely inspiration for me to do something with my life. It was definitely inspiration to do something because, you know, when you have to bring girls you're dating over to the projects, you know, they're nervous whenever they go, and, you know, it's just not a good look. And I remember something interesting happened. When I was with my ex, when we first started dating, I was still in the projects, right? And she had a friend who's kind of rich. He's like a gypsy guy. He's kind of rich. And when he found out I lived in the projects, you know, he had a lot of bad things to say, which I can't really blame him. I can't really say like, oh, the nigga's a dick or something. He's just looking out for her. But that's how it was. But then I would say fast forward a year and a half to a relationship where I've traveled to Russia, I got money, I came back, I was living in a good area in Brooklyn. And then at that time, he wanted to get to know me. And I was kind of just like, you know, fuck you. You know, when I was from the projects, you thought I was just some hood nigga, this and that. You know, I don't really have nothing to say to you. I understand if he would have said something like, you know, be careful with that area, blah, blah, blah. But he straight up just thought I was a bad person because I was from Queensbridge. So I was like, you know what, nigga, fuck you. Don't talk to me because I'm blowing up now. You know, don't say nothing to me now because I was in your town and posters everywhere. Don't say shit to me. When I was in Queensbridge and I was nobody, you know, you had nothing but bad shit to say. You know what I mean? So that's that. And being from here and being out here in Cyprus, which is something I thought was only in Russia, but I'm a teacher, I'm wrong. I think it's a worldwide thing. Everywhere I go, I see Brooklyn shirts. Brooklyn shirts. I know my deep ain't from Brooklyn, but I'm from Brooklyn. That's where I was born. Brooklyn shirts, New York hats, and American flag clothing. This is a worldwide thing. How the fuck do you think that makes me feel? Like everywhere I look, there's somebody advertising my home. You understand? Then there's an anthem plays from the place where I'm from. This is the anthem of Queensbridge. This is definitely the anthem. You feel me? And so when I hear it, and I see all these people around Brooklyn, this, da, 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 I feel myself. So when people say I'm feeling myself, sure. I feel myself all day. And I love being from where I'm from. I wouldn't be from anywhere else. I don't want to offend anybody, but I don't like when people call me something I'm not. When they try to say like, oh, he's Russian. Some people starting to say that now. Like, it's funny if I'm dating you, but if I'm not, it's not funny. I'm like, I'm not Russian. There's nothing wrong with being Russian. I like where I'm from. And when people like themselves, when they really like themselves, a lot of people get mad and say, you're full of yourself. Because I guess you don't feel the same way about yourself, but that's not my fault. You know, everyone can be proud of where I'm from. Just I'm constantly reminded of where I'm from everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I'm reminded of where I'm from. And whenever I tell people where I'm from, they get excited. Or they just like, oh, I don't believe you, you're lying. They think I'm lying about where I'm from. So you can imagine how I feel and how I take all these things, I take all these Black American things so seriously. You know, when we're doing bad things, I have to make videos about it. I love to see us stop doing so many bad things. You know, it really pisses me off when people call other people Black American who aren't Black American. I'm like, cut that out. They're not American. They don't represent. They haven't been through the shit we've been through. They're different. I mean, not saying they're different. We're brothers. Yes, we're brothers. But they are not Black American. Only Black Americans are Black people with an American passport who born and raised in that shit. You know what I mean? Now, people could be from worse conditions, sure, but it's not the same. We don't speak the same. We don't think the same. We don't do the same. There's a lot of disadvantages of the brothers where I'm from. And in Africa, they have a lot of advantages, actually, more advantages than we think. But it's still said that a black American is a black American, you know? And when I do meet people who like, when they say, and all races do this sometimes, oh, I'm from New York, I'm from this, I'm from that. You know, when I do catch a faker, when I catch him on it, I'm like, yo, man, you do you, but around me, don't try to pull that off around me. When someone comes around here, you say where you're from, you know what I mean? So, I even got a dude out here who's from America. Apparently at first, everyone thought he was from New York, but when we met, you know, he's from Atlanta, which isn't that big of a deal. I understand what he was doing, he's getting his hustle on. But still, a lot of people know Atlanta out here too. Let me give Atlanta a shout out. If you're from Atlanta, you should travel, because for some reason, 1 out of every 5 people I ask to guess what city I'm from, they say Atlanta. So Atlanta is pretty big, you know, New York, Atlanta, California, Los Angeles, Miami. You know, those 4 are pretty big. I didn't think Atlanta was so big, but it's pretty damn big, and I'm impressed. That's what she said. And I guess that's it, man. I mean, about the inspiration Queensbridge gave me. Like, if you see the walls in the apartment, the walls were fucked up, real fucked up. The apartment was, because I was living there and I wasn't supposed to be living there, I couldn't have them come in and fix the walls like they're supposed to, because they don't know my grandmother wasn't there like she was supposed to be, and I was living there illegally, so I had to deal with the fucked up walls. And whenever I thought about painting it myself, I got too lazy and I was like, fuck it. I was on unemployment. I was never on welfare. As a child, my mother was, my father wasn't. But I was never on welfare. I was on unemployment. You know, I was kind of living check to check. Acting work was slowing down. So like, it's just, you know, it's just crazy that in a way, Queensbridge made me. I'm Brooklyn born, but Queensbridge made. I would have to say that, because Queensbridge definitely gave me the inspiration to get the fuck out of there. Like, growing up, the first 17 years of my life, I was pampered, basically. I didn't have to go through any of that stuff. Even though I was in bad neighborhoods, I was pampered because my father had, like, really good money and stuff. But soon I turned 18, he just kind of cut it off and said, go on your own. And I was like, okay. And it was, like, real abrupt. It was such a change, man. It was such a change. Having a credit card and a debit card I can use whenever I want, to it being gone and every dollar I spend is my own dollar, yo, that changed the fuck out of me. You know, and I really had to change as a person, and I did. I don't know, my journey had just been insane, you know. I remember right before I left Queensbridge, me and my ex, we knew some of the guys around there. We actually knew the biggest drug dealer on my block, you know. He always told me, don't walk on the other blocks. If they say something, there's not nothing he could do. But on our block, anybody say anything, there's something he could do. And what's funny is he was younger than me, but he's been hustling all his life. You know, so everybody respect him for that. He goes in and out of jail all the time. Every time he sees me with different girls, he's like, oh, I want to hang out. And we hung out one time. I had the video. I had to find it. They were speaking Ebonics with these 4 German girls, and the German girls could not understand them for shit, and it was the funniest thing. I had to find that video. You know what? The video's on Zanga.com, but they recently closed Zanga. I don't know why they closed it, but it kind of pissed me off that they closed it. And, you know, I remember telling them before I left, I was like, I'm going off to try this Russia thing. You know, they're actually inviting me to Russia to do some classes. You know, if this works out, I don't think you guys are going to see me again. And they're like, oh, my nigga, congrats if you don't come back, but if you do, you know where home is. I'm like, all right, man. And I never went back. So, that's basically it, people. Later.